I'm going to be honest, I have only started listening to Vaporwave pretty recently, I'm not going to lie. I'm going to be honest, I probably wouldn't have ever heard of Vaporwave if it wasn't for me starting this channel. Glad I did. But yeah, I do know Vaporwave does have quite the reputation for being pretty controversial and kind of bad. Before I answer the question that this video is asking, I'm just going to go over the history, my subjective hot takes about the genre and all that, and yeah, just answer the overall question at the end. Or just, certain parts of the video, because I hardly know what I'm saying in these videos. Well, yeah, like and subscribe. I'm going to go ahead and start. Yep. For those who are unaware of what a vaporwave is, it's basically just a subgenre of electronic music associated with internet culture and 90s pop culture. It started in the early 2010s and it's reached its peak popularity in the mid-2010s, primarily 2015. The samples used are pretty much just slowed elevator music and everything sort of like elevator music, like smooth jazz, R&B. This is from Wikipedia, by the way. Now, I'm not directly copying Wikipedia, I'm just sort of recapping it, I guess you could say. Now, this genre is not taken the most seriously, to say the least. It's actually primarily satirical takes on consumerism and capitalism, or pop culture, you could say. Take a look at this photo and analyze it for a few seconds. It shows late 90s web pages, glitchy artwork, a chill vibe to it, CGI rendering, and many more pieces to Vaporwave. This image almost perfectly captures what Vaporwave is. I mean, there's a lot more other stuff about it and what formed it to be as today, but just know that it's just ironic electronic music. Anyways, we can get to the history of it. In 1996, this German group Love Inc., I don't know if this is actually them, this is what I found on Spotify though, they released this album called Life's a Gas. And this is what highly influenced the Vaporwave signature sound. But Vaporwave would not be, made as a whole until the early 2010s. It was made as an ironic variant of chillwave music. After listening to a few songs from chillwave, yeah, I can definitely hear the influences. Artists like James Ferraro, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, yeah, they basically characterized it, I guess you could say. Now, in the early scenes, whenever Vaporwave was still underground, it still is, they were often recognized as mysterious and often nameless entities that lurk the internet. This dude named James Harper Adam, I'm sorry, but I've never heard of this dude, so. You could listen to most of their songs through SoundCloud for free. A few years after that, around 2012 or so, it started to gain acceptance from a wider audience, being from certain internet things that popped off in there, Reddit and stuff, all that jazz. That's basically all you have to know about Vaporwave. There's many other lore and stuff surrounding it, but that's most of the useful information right there. Before I get to the hot takes, the good, the bad, etc., I want to go over a specific artist that stands out. Mr. Telepath himself. His ambient sound and dreamlike presentation turned him to the main originator of the slush wave genre. I've never heard of slush wave. I might make another video on that. He's been doing this music for over a decade, and his pop-off was, during the Vaporwave scene. And he still does music today. He released his most recent record a few months ago. And if you are a Roblox kid, you are definitely familiar with his works. I think he has written music for this game called Bear Alpha on Roblox. Not compose an OST, but just have, his music. Actually, I don't know if he did. This clanker on Google says he did not, but this random Spotify playlist says otherwise. I don't know. Who should I trust? An quote-unquote all-knowing clanker from Google, or this random Spotify viewer? I don't know. You can tell me about all of that in the comments, but yeah, I do know that his music inspired the Bear Alpha soundtrack. I've even had one of Telepath's records on the Best Liminal Space album series. If you want me to continue that, I guess I don't know. Anyways, let's get to the saucy part of the video. The good and the bad. First of all, let's talk about the artwork and the overall aesthetic. I really like the aesthetic, and this does convey lots of nostalgia-wise emotion that I cannot get out of any other genre as much as Vaporwave. I really like the quirks that come with Vaporwave and, everything else that comes with it in terms of artwork and stuff. I really like the takes on modern society and consumerism that it has, though just being pretty boring. We'll get to that in a little bit. Especially in a time where exists. I think we do really need anti-consumerist messages. Though it has been a dead genre for about 10 years, I still do admire Vaporwave for what it is in electronic music. It is one of my favorite subgenres, subjectively, of course. But now that I have given all of the pros within Vaporwave, I hate to say this, but I have more negatives when it comes to Vaporwave than positives. If you really think about it, it is a pretty lazy genre because it's mostly just slowed down old music, I guess you could say. Like whenever I slow down that one song, boom, you got a Vaporwave song. Like, past the aesthetic, it is just pretty generic music that you would probably not listen to. Instead, you'd probably go to listen to, like, Rust in Peace or something. Like, I can go on for hours straight on albums that are better than Vaporwave overall that I'd rather listen to. I only listen to Vaporwave on small doses, and most of it just kind of sounds the same. Okay, I just named off the pros and cons of both of them. Now, what is my personal opinion? Do I think that Vaporwave is overhated? Honestly, I think it's perfect down the line. Some people love it, some people hate it. As I said, I admire it for what it is, but I'd rather go listen to like Rain and Blood or something. Now, music is totally subjective, and you might not agree with me, but that's alright, because you can just skip and go on, I guess, if you don't agree. I don't know. Anyways, I just wanted to go on about, Vaporwave as a whole, and I have many other video ideas that I want to talk about. If you liked this video, you can go see many other videos, liminal, nostalgia, aesthetic related on my channel. Yep.